this, it's just very sad to see somebody cut a tree down.
It's incredibly sad. I mean, it was a living, breathing entity, which is the first thing that comes to mind, and it just beggars belief why somebody would want to do that. I mean, it's just barbaric for no apparent reason, and it meant so much to the people of Northumberland and around the world as well.
Indeed, and I hadn't even realised this. I didn't know anything about this tree. Perhaps most people didn't either, but for those that did, many people can tell their own stories. People got married there, people scattered ashes there. I mean, goodness me, and it featured in films. It was a landmark, there's no doubt about that, and it's absolutely beautiful when you see it in situ, and sadly we will no longer be able to see that. Lots of speculation, of course, on social media as to what has happened here. You know, was it some sort of William Wallace moment for somebody, and all manner of speculation in that respect. What is the border significance? Is there any in this tree?
Yes, because I mean, it has a wider effect in not just in how people feel about it. I mean, Cy King from the Hairy Bikers sort of, to quote him, said it was an elemental spirit of Northumberland, and I think he summed that up quite well. For many people, just driving past on the road or visiting or walking Hadrian's Wall, it just becomes a point on the wall, which sort of where history sort of meets, you know, nature, and you know, nature features so much in modern day life, and you know, we hear about it all the time. So for it to disappear from people's lives is just shocking.
And what I find fascinating, you'll be able to bear this out better than most, I think, Pete, is that you would have met hundreds, thousands of tourists over the years who are, you know, interested in this area. That people from around the world, Australia, America, Russia, wherever, who came to that part of the country to look at the wall and areas around it. Many came because of they wanted to see the tree, right? I mean, it held that kind of status.
Well, very much, yes. I mean, as a photographer as well as a tour guide, you know, I've photographed this tree many times, and it fails not to inspire when you go, even in the rain or whatever, you know, with the northern lights behind it. It's just the symmetry of the dip that it sits in, and it just means so much to people. It really does. It's a real connection, a living connection with the history that's on, you know, that surrounds them. You know, it's not just sort of a static, a dead world along Hadrian's Wall. This tree was very much a living embodiment of travel, especially in this historic landscape, as I say.
It does seem extraordinary that somebody, you know, a 16-year-old, if that is the case, could have cut the thing down in the dead of night with no assistance. Does that seem strange to you?
It's beggars belief, but I mean, it's a police investigation. I can't speculate too much, but to go up on probably the windiest night of the year so far, pitch black, shows, you know, some premeditation. I mean, why else? The first thing when I heard somebody said the tree had come down was actually the winds that we'd had overnight had brought it down, which you know, given where it is within the gap and so on, you know, wind funnels through there. But for somebody premeditated to go out at that time in that conditions when nobody was going to be around and do that, it just raises suspicions. I mean, X or Twitter is just lively with rumour at the moment, really, and until the police investigations, we'll not know.
Yeah. Have you got any theories yourself as to what might have happened? Do you think would somebody? Is there any politics in this tree? I mean, there is in the wall, of course, way back. Does the tree feed into that in some kind of way? Could it be some sort of nationalist thing? Could it be something else?
Well, there's various theories going around. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, the military way, the road that runs closest to Hadrian's Wall, there's no lay-by, there's no pull-up place to take a photograph of the wall. So people slow down and stop on quite a dangerous section of road there, slow down or completely park and go and photograph the wall. The Sycamore Gap at the wall there. And it could be anything from just somebody who's just cheesed off with swerving around tourists on the road to something sort of more prosaic, like, you know, I was rejected at the wall or something, you know. I mean, you never know how people's minds work, so really it's unfathomable, really.
Yeah, well, I hope they get to the bottom of it. The one thing we do know, you can't just plant another one, of course. I mean, that doesn't, by definition, it doesn't work like that. It's a very sad thing, and on the face of it, you know, there's a part of your brain that goes, well, it's a tree, and there's lots of trees. But actually, no, it's not just, you know, it's much more than that. It's incredibly symbolic of lots of things, and the idea that somebody just decided to take it away for whatever bizarre reason is incredibly disturbing. Listen, Pete, I hope your tours continue successfully despite the the lack of that tree, sir.